This is where we left off from the previous class, and the previous class we basically were discussing about candlesticks. So if you have any questions on these assignments, don't worry, we're going to go through it together. So let's see how this question was supposed to be done. So I'll just do it so that we can save time, or rather let's do this. Let's have someone to help us do part 1. Someone, let me open up a place where we can draw. Anyone to volunteer to do part 1 of that question? Maybe I can do that. Let me try and split this screen so that we can see the question as we draw. Someone to help us go through part 1 of that question? Anyone to give it a trial? XRP had an opening price of 0.496. During that day, it formed a low of 0.420 and closed that day at 0.513. Draw a sketch of how that candlestick would look like. Let me see whose hands is up. Okay, Okari, let's go.
It's a bullish candle.
It's a bullish candle. Why? Let's do it step by step. Let me just do a basic thing like that. So the first thing is opening price of that.
At the bottom, the opening price is at the bottom of the body. Yes, 0.496.
Why is it at the bottom? But let me just write them to explain. 0 points. The opening price 0.496. Yes.
It's closed at the top of the body, which is 0.5 something.
0.512.
Then it formed a low, meaning the wick to the bottom.
Yes.
0.42.
0.420. 0.420. Let me tell. 0.420. Like that.
Yes.
So explain to us why it's a bullish candlestick, kindly.
The opening price is lower than the closing price, so the buyers push the price up.
So what?
That is. See the price opened at 0.496. The sellers pushed the price to 0.420, but the buyers overcame them. And they pushed the price up, making it to close at 0.512.
Yes, so this is basically a bullish candlestick. Let's appreciate Joseph. Green like that. So in short, what Joseph is saying, let me try and squeeze this. I don't know why it's not working. But anyway, XRP had an opening price of 0.496. During that day, it formed what? During that day, it formed a low. Let me try and move this so that I can explain together. So during that day, it formed a low of 0.420 and closed that day at 0.513. So draw a sketch of how that candlestick will look like. So basically, if you draw that rectangle, the first thing that you'll notice is that you've been given a low. The lowest price, I remember I mentioned this yesterday, the lowest price of any candlestick is always represented by the bottom wick, or what you call the lower shadow, the lower wick. So the first thing you need to do is to draw that lower wick and name it 0.420. Then come and compare the value of the opening price and the closing price. So in this case, the opening price is lower than the closing price. And basically that will be a bullish candlestick. Because we defined a bullish candlestick, if I'm to navigate to that, we say that it is a bullish candlestick is a situation where the closing price is higher than the opening price, because the direction of a bullish candlestick is up. So 0.496, 0.512. And basically that's how you're supposed to deal with that question. And what Joseph has answered is, what does the wick signify? And he's done a very good job by saying that actually the sellers tried to push the price down, but they were done what? They tried to push the price down, but they were overcome by the buying pressure, and the buyers pushed the price all the way up to 0.512. Let's have a volunteer to help us do question number 2. BNB, this one. BNB had an opening price of 555 on Tuesday, and it made a high of $600 and a low of 527 on that day. The closing price for BNB was 591 on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, and closed that day at 581. Do a sketch of how the two candles will follow each other and indicate that price. Someone to do for us that question? Someone, kindly. I want a bigger space, so let me try and do that. So I can demonstrate as we do it. Someone to help us do that question. I was looking at the assignments right now before I started this class. I don't think anyone got that part, that question. But this second question. But someone to help us. A trial, Pius. Pius, you can unmute yourself.
So the first candle will be a bullish candlestick.
Okay, let's go step by step. Yes. So we had an opening price of that. This is the Tuesday one, right?
Yes.
So this is Tuesday. Yes.
It formed a lower week of 527.
A lower week of 527. So here it's 527. Let me just name it 5. Then we can go through it together. Yes.
Then the upper week at 600.
Upper week, okay. Upper week of 600. Let's do that. 600. Yes.
The opening price was 555.
So at the bottom here or at the top here?
At the bottom.
So 525. 525. 555.
555.
555, yes.
Then the closing price was 591.
The closing price was 591.
Yes. Then the other candlestick. It was a 600. It was a bearish.
A bearish, so have it in red. Yes.
An high of 600. So the upper week would be at 600.
The upper week will be at 600. 600. Let me just name that. Where's my? Okay, here. 600. Then
the lower week would be at 536.
536. Where is that? Why is it not drawing? Okay, let me do that again. 536. Where's my text tool? 536. Yes.
The candlestick should not have a body.
Oh, why?
It should be
Should be a doji.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do that. Okay, perfect. I'll delete this rectangle and draw a line. Why is my TradingView misbehaving? If you can see anything on your screen, thumbs up. Okay, let me what just happened? Hey, why is TradingView misbehaving? And we're supposed to do TradingView tonight. If everything has been sorted from your end, thumbs up. If you can see anything on your screen. Okay, but I don't know where the drawings have gone to, but you can repeat that again. Let's do that again. Sorry about that. Let's do that again. So we had this, or let me do this. Let me just go through it. Hey, TradingView. Let me do it. Let me just do it. So the first BNB had an opening price of 555 on a Tuesday, and it made a high of 600 and a low of 527 on that day. So the first thing we know at this juncture is that this candlestick actually has a lower shadow because of the fact that we are having a low of 527 higher. So we have a lower wick. Remember, we said that the lower wick represents the lowest price that was achieved over a specific period of time. At this juncture, we don't know if this is a bullish candle or a bearish candle, but what we know is that we are having what? A lower wick. And that low was 527, 527, like that. So let's figure it out if it's actually a bullish candle or a bearish candle. So the opening price is 555. And the closing price is what? The closing price of that is actually, so BNB had an opening price of 555 on a Tuesday, and it made a high of 600 and a low of 527. So two things, a high of 600 and a low of 527. So it also has an upper wick, and for that upper wick, it's what? Its price is 600. 600 like that. An upper wick of 600 USD. 600 like that. Then, but the opening price is 555. Let's hold on to that. The closing price for BNB on that day was 591. So we are having a closing price of 591, but an opening price of 555. So the closing price is higher than the opening price, making this a bullish candlestick from the definition. A bullish candlestick. So this it's right to have it in green like that, a bullish candlestick. And the opening price is what? The opening price right here. The opening price was 555. Let me just name that 555. Not that one, but 555. And the closing price is was 5. The closing price was 591. So up to that point, we have all gotten that question. On Wednesday, remember, on Wednesday, let's draw this separately first, made a high of 600. So what we know up to that point is that we are having an upper wick of 600. 600. Remember, the highest price is always represented by the upper wick, so 600 like that. Then a low of 536. So the lower wick 536 like that. 536. 536. Then how do you determine and close the day at 581? So we want to determine if this candlestick for Wednesday was actually a bullish candlestick or a bearish candlestick. But you're having a closing price. We're having a closing price of 581. What will be the opening price of this candlestick? That was the trick question. We're only having a closing price, but I don't have an opening price. The trick was here. Remember, we said that the closing price of the previous candle is always the opening price of the next candle. So in short, because this was the opening price, remember this part, this 555 was the opening price. Right here, this 55 was the opening price, and this 591 was the closing price. For what candle? For the Tuesday candlestick. Tuesday, this is Tuesday. But we're having our Wednesday. So what will be the opening price for our Wednesday candlestick? Let me just name it. The opening price for our Wednesday candle will actually be 591. So if we compare the opening price as 591 and its closing price is 581, then it means the closing price is lower than what? The opening price, making this candlestick a bearish candlestick. So because they are following each other, I'll come here. Our opening, they are sharing the opening price. They are sharing the opening price as 591, but this had a low of 536, like that. Let me just squeeze like that, and a high of 600. If you're perfectly drawing this 600, this high price of Tuesday should be equal to this, but this is just for demonstration. You don't need to be perfect, and this is Wednesday. So the opening price is 591. The closing price is what? 581. 581. So it's lower. The closing price is lower than the opening price. So it makes this a bearish candlestick. So 581 right here. Hey. Anyway, let me have this in red because the bearish candlestick, and red like that. So our closing price, our opening price was 591. The closing price for this will be 581 from this juncture right here. 581. This is what was expected in that question. Any question? Any question? This is what was expected in that particular question. Always remember, the trick part was always remember that the closing price of one candlestick is always the opening price of the next. So 591 will be the opening price for our Wednesday candlestick. Then we compare that opening price to our closing price right here, and that essentially makes this a bearish candlestick because the closing price is higher than the opening price is higher than the closing price. If you've gotten that, thumbs up. If you've gotten that, kindly thumbs up. Any questions? Juma, you have a question? Can you see your hand is up?
Yes, I have a question.
Pardon?
Hello, are you getting me?
Yes.
Oh, I have a question about the second candle. Okay, now it said that the low was 536, is it? Then for the previous candle, which was of Tuesday, its low was 527.
Yeah.
So for me, I was thinking like the Wednesday candle, its low should be above the previous candle low, which is 536. If we consider the price and we arrange it in the order form, yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's actually true. No wonder I mentioned if you are drawing it up to scale, these two also should be the same because the highest price is 600. I think I've mentioned that it's 600. So if you have to do that, then you have to make this the same height. Then if this is 527 and this 536, it should be lower like that. If you have to do perfectly 581, so this one actually should be somewhere here, if I'm not wrong, like that. But basically, that was not my to be perfect like that, but essentially this is how they will look like in real sense. But because this was basically just a demonstration, I just wanted guys to understand that the closing price of one candlestick is the opening price of the other candlestick. But essentially, if you're looking at prices, this is how it should look like. This 600 should be the same level as 600, 527, 536, 55, 581, 591. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah, perfect. So, and with that now, I think now we can go to what we're supposed to cover tonight. Supposed to cover TradingView. Basically, it's having a tour of the TradingView and how you can navigate yourself. Oh, Pius, you have a question? Let me just go back to that question.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that in both bearish and bullish candlestick, both opening price is at the bottom of the body?
Pardon?
Did you see that in both bearish and bullish candlestick, the opening price is at the bottom of the candlestick?
The opening price
Bottom part of the body of the candlestick.
of both candlesticks?
Did you see like that?
No. This is what. This is what. Why are you asking that? Why are you confused?
I thought you said that way.
The opening price is always at the bottom.
Yeah.
No, I said, let me just do this. What I said is that let's assume this is a bullish candlestick. For you to always remember the opening price and the closing price, this is a bullish, or because it's red, let's assume it's a bearish candlestick. Let's take it as a bearish candlestick. What I said is always know that the highest price will be represented by the upper candle, the upper wick, and the lowest price will be represented by the lower wick. So that is what remains constant in all candles. Whether it's a bullish candlestick or a bearish candlestick, the highest price will be represented by the upper wick, and the lowest price will be represented by the lower wick. That is what remains constant, not the opening price and the closing price. And this is why, let me just draw these. I'm unable to talk and draw at the same time. I can't multitask. Just fast draw. Green. So what remains the same is the highest price pews. I hope you're listening here. The highest price will always be represented by these top wicks, and the lowest price will always be represented by this bottom wick. But when it comes to opening price and closing price, always remember a red candle, its direction is like this. That's the direction of a bearish candlestick. So the price is going downwards. So the opening price will be up here, whereas the closing price will be down here. But for a bullish candlestick, the direction is like this. The direction is up. So essentially what happens is the opening price will be down here. Remember, the price is going up. In a bullish candlestick, the price is going up. So the price, the candlestick direction will inform you where the opening price will be. Is that okay? Is that okay now, Pius?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Any other question before we move on to what we're supposed to cover tonight? Any other question? Let me just do that one. Okay, perfect. So if you can see my screen, thumbs up. If you can see TradingView. Okay, perfect. So what you're supposed to cover tonight is TradingView. And just to jump into what TradingView is, so TradingView is a popular online platform for traders and investors, offering a wide range of tools and features for analyzing the financial market. So yesterday we said that the financial market are things that are things like stocks, cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, all those are what we call the financial market. So in simpler words, we can say that that TradingView is a tool that is used by traders when they are doing their technical analysis. It's as simple as that. TradingView is a tool used by traders to aid them when they are doing what? Their technical analysis, and it is used across the financial markets, across the crypto markets, as we are doing the forex market, the commodities, the stocks, the all those financial markets. So TradingView offers both free and premium subscription plans, with the premium plans providing access to additional features, advanced charting tools, and more data. So the platform is available on web browsers as well as through mobile apps for iOS and Android devices. So before you even go ahead, this is what you call a TradingView. And I want to start it afresh so that you can start from the word go. For someone who has never even interacted with TradingView, we are saying now this is TradingView. This is the software, or rather the tool that in simpler terms we've defined as a tool used, or rather a tool that aids traders when they are doing technical analysis across different financial what do we call it? Financial markets. And under financial markets we have a lot, but in this case, as we are dealing with what we call the crypto markets. So once you sign up, or rather you click a link to TradingView, this is the first thing that will greet you. The first thing you'll see, this is actually what you'll see. And you have said from this statement, TradingView offers both free and premium subscription plans, with the premium plans providing access to additional features, advanced charting tools, and more data. And that is proven at this point right here. You'll notice that we have different packages. We have the essential package. Okay, not even the essential. We have the free version. Then we have the essential package. Then we have the plus package, and we have the premium package. So what is the difference? The more you pay, the more the privileges. So in this premium essential, you'll notice if you pay that $13, then you have advantages to 2 charts per tab. If you pay $28, 4 charts per tab. If you pay $56, 8 charts per tab. 5 indicators per chart, 10, 25, 10K, 10K, 20K, 10, 20, 50. So the more you pay, the more the privileges. But actually, the free version offers mostly all the tools that you'll need when analyzing the crypto market. So the free version is okay, but if you need more charts, more indicators, and all that, you can come and subscribe here, the essential, the plus, or the premium, depending on what package will suit your liking. So let's tackle each part part by part. So the more part is things that you can explore on your own. The help center, download for business, for company. This is a site that you can actually explore on your own. When you come to brokers, what do we call brokers in crypto? Someone? Brokers is what forex people call, but in crypto, what do we call our brokers? Someone, our brokers in crypto. Brokers in crypto. Let me see whose hand is up. You can mute yourself. Let me see who. Mula, let's go. Yes, the exchanges. Let's appreciate him, guys. Yes, the exchanges. In forex they'll call that brokers, as we'll call that exchanges. So under this part, this is where you can access all your favorite exchanges. OKX. This is probably crypto, probably forex people will understand this. But for us, you can come and navigate to your favorite crypto exchanges. In this case, we have OKX, but I'll show you as we are doing our tour. I'll show you where you can access even Binance and the rest. So just leave that at that. Then we have the markets. The markets basically is a list of all financial markets that we've talked about: indices, stocks, crypto. This is our main area. Futures, forex, government bonds, corporate bonds, ETFs, and the economy. So this is where you come and choose the financial market that you're interested in at the moment. In our situation, that's the crypto market. When we come to community, this is basically a segment that is provided by what? By TradingView, where different traders can come here and share their ideas. Actually, if you click to this part, they look more or less than tweets, so you can actually call them like tweets. So people come here on TradingView, they share up their setups and all that. But I'll also show you where you can access that with ease. But you can also use these trading ideas. Come share your trading ideas. Come join communities here. You can see we have communities here. Come and join all that from this part right here. But the most the most important part that I want us to get is the product part. The screeners, calendars, all this, you can come and explore on your own. But the super charts, this is the most important part, because this now is a segment where once you click, you can now access the live charts. So let's click there and see. Super charts. Once you've clicked the super charts, now it will bring you to the financial charts that you're trading. I'm very sure because some of you have never interacted with TradingView, you'll notice that the markets here will be different, will not be crypto markets. So what you do, come to this part and choose the crypto markets. See we have stocks, funds, whatever. Just come, click on the top. Is this left? Yes, top left of your screen, this part right here. Then you can come and choose the crypto market, so that every token that is, or rather every coin that shows up on this part right here will be a token on the crypto market. If that doesn't work, what you do, click here and choose your crypto pairs. For example, I can say BTC USDT, like that. BTC USDT. Which exchange am I trading on? On Binance. Am I trading on BitGet, OKX, KuCoin, Mexi, BitGet, all that? Depending on which exchange you're trading on, you choose that one. So in this case, we can say we are using Binance, and just click right there. And the chart that will appear will be that of the Binance USDT. I think my net today is having a problem. Let me try and refresh that. Yes, perfect. So right here, can come and choose from this part. I can come and choose BTC USDT, and my favorite exchange, that is Binance, like that. So you can see now my chart has changed from Jasmine to BTC USDT. If you can see that, thumbs up. Thank you for confirming for me, because my other device is lagging. Yeah, perfect. So that. Also, now let's take a step-by-step tour for someone who has never interacted with TradingView. For them to understand, we'll have to define each and everything that you're seeing on the screen right here. So from this part right here, it's basically your profile, where you can change your profile settings, the help center, the home, what's new, and all that. But what I want us to just take in note of is the language. This is the place where you can come and choose your language. In this case, you're using English, so come and choose that. If, for example, you don't love the dark theme that I'm using right now, what you can do on the same part there, just come and uncheck this box like that. So, and say yes. Once I've said yes, the chart now will turn from dark mode to a light mode. I don't know if it's called a light mode, but we can just call it light mode, to a light mode. But may prefer a dark mode, so I'll just check that tunnel button again, and I'm back to a dark theme. So let's tackle each part by part. So this part right here, this is basically where you choose your trading pairs. And we said that trading pairs are mostly pegged to the USDT, are paired to the USDT. Which type of coin is USDT? Someone? Which type of coin is USDT? Okari?
Stable coin.
A stable coin. How did you define a stable coin? Let's have someone else to define a stable coin. Stable coin. What is a stable coin? Anyone? What is a stable coin? Mula.
It's a cryptocurrency that is pegged to the US dollar.
Yes, to the US dollar, not quite there. Not quite there, because we have other stable coins that are not pegged to the US dollar. Pius?
Pegged to fiat currencies.
Yes, a stable coin is a coin that is pegged to fiat currencies. So because you can see we have other stable coins that are pegged to the gold and the USDT. So basically to unify all of them, a stable coin is a coin that is pegged to a fiat currency. So from this part right here, as I was saying, this is where you come and choose your trading pairs. If I have an interest in maybe a coin like 1,000 stars, USDT like that. USDT like that. If you want the spot markets, you just stop it at that. But if you want the futures market, you add .p. .p is perpetual, meaning futures contract or futures market. So if I want futures.p, and I can choose my favorite exchanges, Binance, BitGet, whatever. But in this case, because we only know about spot, we've not yet the futures, we use 1,000 USDT, and you can choose our favorite exchange as maybe Binance. So from this corner, this is where you choose all the coins that you want to trade on. Then next to that, we have this part right here. This part right here is what we call the where we choose our time frame. Our time frame. So we'll have 1 second, all the way from 1 tick, 1 second, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 hour, all that. Depending on what type of trader you are, then from this juncture is where you get to choose your time frame. So let's look at different type of traders so that you can understand which type of time frame they use. So I have a little shy of 7 different type of traders, but the main ones are the 4 ones that you see on the screen right now. So number 1, we have a scalper. A scalper is a trader who enters and exits the market within seconds or minutes, aiming to make small profits from quick price movement. So this style requires full-time attention, lightning, fast decision making, and a solid understanding of the technical charts. So the most important part I want us to understand is they enter and exit the market within seconds or minutes. So which time frame do they most probably use? The second time frame, minute time frame. These time frames right here from 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Those are the time frame for the scalpers. The next type of traders is the day trader. A day trader opens and closes all trades within the same day. So they aim to profit from short-term price movement and avoid overnight risks. So it suits traders who can monitor the market actively during the day. So a question, which time frame do you think a day trader will use? Someone? Which time frame? The leakage is on the term. A day trader. Which time frame do they think they use?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay. He's saying 1 hour. Someone else? Mula. Mula, I see your hand is up.
They can, a day trader can, they can trade between, let's say, the 4 hour.
Yes, the 4 hour. Okay, let's have the last suggestion, Felix. The 1 day time frame. So yeah, let's appreciate all the participants, guys. Yeah, so the 1 day time frame people will mostly use the 1 day time frame to check the general movement of the charts before they narrow down to smaller time frames for precisions. So yeah, the most correct answer will be the 1 day time frame. Then you have a swing trader. Swing trader hold positions for several days or even weeks and riding trends or patterns in the market. They don't need to sit in front of the screen all day, but still require good technical analysis skills. So a swing trader and a position trader, they're almost the same. So this type holds crypto assets for long term, usually months to years. So position traders focus more on the fundamental analysis and believe in the growth potential of a project or coin over time. So mostly the time frame that they use is everything above 1 week going on like that. Then you have many other different type of traders. We have the arbitrage trader. We looked at arbitrage trading, and we said that this is basically exploiting price differences from one exchange to another. We have a copy trader. This is a social trader. Copy traders don't trade on their own strategies. Instead, they copy trades made by more experienced or successful traders. So this method is useful for beginners but relies on the performance of others. Do not worry about that. We'll talk about copy trading, and actually Binance, most exchanges, they offer that option where you can go and copy the trades of other people. So we'll talk about copy trading later, a different class on its own that will specifically be talking about copy trading. Then you have the algorithmic trader, and basically these are bot traders. But essentially, the main 4 types of traders is the scalper, day trader, swing trader, and the position traders. We've looked at the time frame. So this other next part is basically a segment where you get to choose how you want your candlesticks to appear. Let me zoom out so we can see how you want your candlesticks to appear. This is where you come and choose. If you click this down arrow right here, you'll notice we have the bars, candles, hollow candles, and what? Basically, the candles right here is the default candles, and this is what you're seeing on your screen right now. But you can come and choose maybe hollow candles, and you'll see now that my uptrend candles or my bullish candlestick are now represented by a hollow candle-like thing right here. Hollow. If you can see that thumbs up, hollow. Let me zoom out. Yes, they are hollow. If, for example, you use bars, but I've never met someone who use bars, but if you use bars, you can come and do that and analyze your charts using the bars. If, for example, you use the volume candles, they are basically very different type of candlesticks. The line, the hollow candles is on the paid version. So if you want the line chart, basically like that. But the most commonly used is what? The default, which is the candles, the ones that look like that. Then next to that, we will have what we call indicators. And to simply define an indicator, I can say in layman's terms that indicators are mathematical function designed or coded, we can say coded, designed or coded to help you when you're doing your technical analysis. And this is how it is. For example, maybe you don't know, let me move to maybe a lower time frame like 1 hour. 1 hour like that. Let me zoom out my candles. In the 1 hour time frame, we're going to look at these things maybe to the course of this week. So this essentially is what you call a bearish order block. So if you don't understand or you do not know how to identify things like this, a bearish order block, or you do not know how to define a market structure, for example, this is a break of structure right here. So if you don't know how to do all these things, what indicators do, basically, like I've defined, that these are mathematical functions designed or coded to help you when you're doing your TA. So if you cannot identify most of these things on the chart, what the indicators will help you. What the indicators will do, it will help you identify these points on your chart. No wonder we are saying they are coded. These are actually things that people have coded, or softwares that people have coded that enables them to spot these things on the chart. For example, if you want to identify all the order blocks in your chart, you'll come and choose an indicator called market structure break and order block. What this will do, it will help you identify order blocks in your chart and market structure shift, or the break of structure in your chart. So if you click on that like that, what it will do, it will come to your chart and it will essentially highlight for you. Oh, you can see right here it has written, I had told you this is a bearish order block. You can see from this part, bearish. Maybe they have named it differently. Remember, you don't need to name that directly, but as long as it's bearish, you can see from this part, bearish MB, bearish order block. If you can see that, thumbs up. Don't think you guys can see it, but let me just zoom out. You can see bearish order block right here, bearish order block. If you can see that, perfect. So bearish order block. If you cannot identify a market structure shift, it will come and name for you that MSB. I don't know what they mean by MSB, but me I call it a market structure shift. So if you cannot identify those things in the market, an indicator will do that for you. And for example, if you're good in coding, you can come and actually create your first script now. Create a software, fill it in, and it will help you when you're analyzing your charts from that point. So that's all about indicators. Just remember they're mathematical functions, or I don't know how to describe it, but you can say they're mathematical function designed or coded to help you when doing your technical analysis. That's the best way I can define that. So next to that, we have, and remember, if you want to delete all these things on your chart, what you do, these indicators on your chart, what you do on your left, on your left, on this part right here, MSB, come here, move your cursor to that term, then you'll see a dustbin symbol, click on that, and it will disappear. If you want to delete anything that you've drawn on your chart individually, click on it. At this box, you can call it a dialog box. I don't know what else you can call. So it's like that. Come on your item that you want to delete, click it. If you want to edit, not even delete alone. If you want to edit, maybe the color, that's how you edit. If you want to fill that with that color, that's how you do it. If you want to name it, what you do, come to the text tool right here, come to the text, and you can change the way you've named that, add text right here, and say this is a bearish order block, like that. And if you want to delete the whole of it, click on that also, or change the thickness of these borders, can come and enlarge like that. And if you want to delete, just come to this menu and click that. If you want to delete this, the same thing. If you want to edit, these are all the tools that you can use to edit. And if you want to delete, you can delete from that part right here. The next part is the alert. An alert is basically a tool that you set up to alert you on a price that you are interested in. How does it work? So come to this part, click on it. These are choose your pair. In this case, you are doing 1,000 sats pair to the USDT. So click on that 1,000 sats USDT. For example, you can say, let me just do this. For example, you can say my interest price. I want this system to alert me once 1,000 sats reaches maybe this price, 0.004 and whatever. So what I'll do, I'll come to my chart, click that, choose my pair, that's 1,000 sats, the price. So in this case, I'll come here and I say closing up because it's closing up. So I'll come closing up. Then I can choose the price that I want to be alerted on. Don't know what's happening. I can choose that price closing up and say the price that I want to be alerted on is 0. How many zeros? These are 4 zeros. 414. 414.
Excuse your chat keeps on vanishing.
Can you see now?
No, yeah.
Anyone else who is experiencing that? If you have experienced that, thumbs up kindly. Okay. So if you can see my screen, thumbs up before I even continue. Perfect. So closing up, the value 40414, and I can say, do I want this to ring only once or every time? I can say only once, and I can say create. So even if I delete this thing, let me delete this red thing so that you can see. You can see now there's a thin gray line. If you can see that, thumbs up. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I hope you see it. Yes, there's a thin line right here to highlight your what? Your alarm. Your alarm. So anytime or when 1,000 sats will cross this alarm of ours or alert of us that you've set, then it will notify you in your email. It will notify you on your phone, SMS. If that is, if you've connected SMS, your TradingView to your phone number. But most essentially, it produces an alarm-like sound. It produces an alarm-like sound. You can try this on your own. Maybe have an alert closer to this part so that you can hear that alert. So if you're done with that alert or you want to delete it, what do? Come to the farthest left. No, farthest right here. If you can see this part, thumbs up. This part right here, clock-like thing. So what you do if you want to delete that alert, this is the part where it highlights, or rather it lists all your alerts. So you'll see I had an alert on VET USDT and it was triggered and I stopped it. This one right here, I can decide to stop it, or I can decide to, you see, once I've stopped it, it has disappeared. I hope you've noticed that line has disappeared. But if I want to delete that essentially from even my list, I'll come from this part and delete it. Delete this other one like that. So that's how basically an alert works. It is a tool that you use to, or rather you can set up to alert you on a price that you are interested on. So you can see even alerts notify you instantly when your conditions are met. So in simple terms, that's what we are saying. So the next to that, we have what we call the replay button. This basically, it helps you to go back to the history of your charts and actually tells to know how your trades would have performed if you took your trades. So, and as what you do, click on that, then come here, press that, but it's on the free version. It's on the premium version. So essentially how it works is, if you can see this demo, you'll see it can help you go back the way that person has done. Then you can press play, then you can see how the chart would have performed. So that's basically all about the replay button. I want us to ignore this part, this thing. We'll come back to it. We have the redo and undo. This everyone can understand how they work. You undo if you've done an action. Let me draw just a random thing. If I've done that thing and I want to undo that action, I can do. If I want to redo, I can do that. So it's basically an undo and redo button. So let's jump this thing. We'll be back to it in a few. On this other part, you can come and explore on your own, but I'll mention the most important parts. And this, for example, in this segment, this gearbox-like thing representation is for the settings. So your settings is where you come and put your preferences. And this is what I mean. For example, let's start from the first one, the symbol tool. On the symbol, you get to choose how you want your candlesticks to appear. Let me delete this. Delete this. So how do I want my candlesticks to appear? Let me zoom in so that you can see when changing. So if, for example, I want my green candles, or rather not my green, my uptrend candles or my bullish candle to be in blue, not blue, let's use more shouting color, to be in yellow, I can come to this part and say I want my bodies in yellow. You can see that my bodies have been filled with yellow. I can decide that the bodies if I zoom out, you'll notice only the body is in yellow, but the borders are still in green. Like that. The borders right here are still in green. So if I want to change that to also yellow, I do that. Now my borders are still are now in yellow, but my wicks are still in green. So if I want to change that, I can have that yellow as well. So my uptrend or my bullish candles are now represented by yellow. If I want to change my bearish candlestick, I maybe get represented by purple. That's the same thing. Do the same for the wick, and the same for the borders like that. So you can decide to have maybe your chart like that, your uptrend with yellow, your down candles with pink, with whatever color this is, purple. So let me return this to default. I prefer green and red, but you can come. I see people with blue and white, and it looks so nice. So you can come and choose your favorite colors from that point. Then we have the precision. I want you to notice something. If you can look at the farthest right, this scale, you can notice the number of decimal places that are here and whatever. So that's on the default. But if you want more, for example, I want this scale to represent prices in 14 decimal places. I'll come and choose from this precision part. And now you can see that my scale now is represented by 14 decimal places. If I want 4, I can do that, but I want the default, so I can use the default from that point. Time zone, same thing. This is where you come and choose your time zone. In our case, right here, we're in Nairobi, UTC +3, so come and choose that. If you've moved to another country, maybe Berlin, you can come and change that from that point right here. Next to the symbols, after the symbol, we have what we call the status line. So I can come to that part. And this, the settings part, as I've mentioned, is basically a segment where you can come and set up TradingView to your liking. So also the status line will open up to logo, title, and all that. So I want us to notice something from the far left right here. We have a logo, and this logo basically is the logo for USDT from the back right here, and the 1,000 sats. Remember, our pay is 1,000 sats USDT. So the logos that are here is for 1,000 sats and Tether USDT. If I don't want the logo to appear, what do I do? Uncheck that. So if I uncheck that, that disappears. If I don't want the title to be there, this whole title, 1,000 sats, Tether USDT, 1 hour Binance, all that, if I don't want that, come and check that from that point. But remember, I can decide to have a brief summary of this. Instead of having 1,000 sat USDT in full, I can decide to have all these as a ticker. A ticker. Remember, the ticker for Tether is basically writing USDT. So if I click that, I'll have 1,000 sats USDT, a ticker, instead of having that thing in full. But if I want a combination of the both, I can decide to have the ticker and the full description. So if I click that, I'll have the ticker part and the full description. Perfect. So the chart values can come from, let me see if I can move this. The chart values is basically the O, H, L, and C. If I untick that, it disappears. If I tick that, it appears. Someone to tell us, what do you think OHLC prices mean? OHLC. What do you think it means? We did this yesterday, but I didn't name them as OHLC. When you're talking about components of a candlestick, we had O, we had H, we had L, and we had C. Someone? OHLC. A trial. Joe?
O opening, H high, L low, C close.
Yes, let's appreciate Joseph. Only Mula Mula is appreciating Joseph. Let's appreciate Joseph, guys. Yeah, perfect. So the OHLC is basically the opening price, the highest price, the lowest price, and the closing price at that juncture like that. All these other things you can come, bar change values, whatever. You can see if I tick that, it appears. The volume, it also appears, the volume of that candlestick. All these things are things you can come and explore on your own and choose them. I prefer my charts having less things, but the logo, I prefer having the logo and having this as a ticker only. That is enough. So that's on that. Then on the scales and the scale and what? The scale and lines, let's see. These are things you can always come and also explore on your own. Always visible, the currency and the unit. You'll see if I uncheck that, USDT right here will disappear. Let me just say invisible, it disappears. But if I want that to appear, I'll just come and set it right there. So these are things you can come and explore on your own, but I'll just mention maybe a few. So the symbol part, I'll talk about the symbol part because the rest you can come and explore on your own. The symbol part, because I feel it's very important for everyone to have it. The symbol is basically this whole line. This line is highlighting for you the current market price of SATs. I almost said XRP, of SATs right here. So as it moves, as SATs moves, then this line will go up with this. So every time you see this line, you know that's the current market price of your pair at that moment. It also highlights your ticker, 1,000 SATs, and despite the fact that you also have it on the far left, on the far left, you can also decide to have it here to make it easier for you to remember every time what you're trading, 1,000 SATs or whatever. Then you're having the price, the current market price being highlighted here, the percentage change right there, and the countdown to the closure. Remember, you're on the 1 hour time frame. So what this means is we are remaining with 46 more minutes before this candle closes up, because you're on the 1 hour time frame. So it will take 1 hour for this candle to form, and so far we are remaining with 46 minutes to the closure of this candle. You can see that line has moved with that. So this line will highlight for you the current market price. So where do we get to choose that from? Right here. Right here. You can decide to uncheck the name, to only have the price being highlighted. You can decide you don't want the value, the price, just have that candle closure. And you can decide you don't want this line right here. You can close that and you don't have the line. You basically remain with the countdown. So what you do, if you want all of them, name, value, and that. This box right here is to choose the color. If I want all these to change to maybe purple, I can do that and have that like that. These are things you can go and choose, or rather you can go and explore on your own free time, and you can do that on your own. The next other thing that I want us to cover on this part right here is what you call the, what can we call this now? Let's call it a camera, because it looks like a camera. Basically what a camera is a sharing analysis tool that helps you to share your analysis with your friends instead of going through the hassle of taking a screenshot and all that. What you do, for example, you're done your analysis. I'm assuming this is an analysis, which is not, but you're just saying maybe you've done your analysis like that and you want to share that with your friend. Instead of taking a screenshot of this, what you do, you can come to this part, this camera or snapshot. What are they calling it? You can call it camera for the purpose of this class. Camera, you can decide to download the image, you can decide to copy the image, you can decide to copy the link, open in a new tab, or actually tweet that image. So we can use one example and see how it works. I can say copy the image, navigate to my social platform, my social platform. Let's see, right here, come to where you want to send that and basically Control V, paste. And once I've pasted like that, I can share that like that. Simple as that. If it's a link, I can actually do the same. Come to this part, copy the link, navigate to my social whatever, then I can come and share that. Control V, paste that link there and share like that. So that's the essential part, or the main use of this camera thing right here. Moving to the right, we are having this part right here, this whole string right here. And as I've said before, I'll also cover the main parts of that. So if you want to access the tools on these, two options. You can click this book-like thing like that, and it will open up to this part right here. Or what you can do, basically put your cursor right here and slide that to your left. Yes, to your left like that. So what have we now accessed here? A number of things. We've talked about alerts, so we're not going to repeat that again. But coming to this part, we have what we call a watch list. A watch list. I'm very sure if you've never used TradingView, you don't have a watch list. So what is a watch list? A watch list is a list, or rather it helps you to mark coins on your radar. Or what do you mean by coins on your radar? Coins that you're tracking, or a list that helps you track the coins that you're interested in. It's the same as this watch list on CoinMarketCap. Actually, CoinMarketCap has a watch list. And how do you actually create a watch list? Come to this point and create a watch list. And essentially, if you want to add, you can come here, create my own watch list. You need to log in and what have you. I won't do that right here. But if you want to add coins to your watch list, what do? If I want to add Tether USDT to my watch list, what I do, come to this star symbol right here, and check that. Click it to check that part. And you can see even if I move my cursor to that, it's saying add to the main watch list. So just do that and it will go straight to your watch list. That is if you have created an account with CoinMarketCap. So it will go to your watch list, and basically a watch list is a list that helps you keep track of the coins that you're interested in, or coins that you're on your radar, coins that you're tracking, essentially. So that's the same thing with this watch list right here on TradingView. So you can see my watch list. I have Jasmy, XRP, PIV, VET, XPX. So if I want to delete VET, I'll come to that. I don't want to delete actually that. So if I want to delete SPX, I can come to my farthest. If I move my cursor to that option, I'll see the dustbin symbol at the end right here, and I can delete that. So how do we add a coin on our radar? We don't have BTC here. We can decide to add BTC. So what you do, let me just repeat that again. On this part right here, you have like a plus sign. So come to that part, and I can choose BTC. It's for the first thing on my chart. So let's choose another one. Let's say we are watching 1,000 sats. Or Pepe USDT, whatever. If I want to do that, I'll just come and click this sign right here. And you'll notice now what has happened. 1,000 Pepe has been added on my list. If I want to add BTC, what I do, come to this part, click that. BTC USDT has been added on my list. And if I want to delete, simple as that. Click there and it will delete. So the chat forum, remember I said we'll talk about that. The chat forum is a public forum uniting, yes, if I'm to say that, uniting traders to share what they think will happen to the market. Anything that you want to share here, they look like tweets. You can come right here and that is it. And if you want to say something, maybe say Doge to the moon, for example, Doge to the moon, and send it. This is basically a platform. The chat platform is a public forum uniting traders to share what they think, or rather what will happen to the market, or any other thing that you want to share right here. You can come and share that. You can see this person has just shared right now, just now, holding GU at that price, who is with me, and that. So that's essentially the purpose of this chat forum right there. So I wanted to mention something else at the bottom. The rest of the things you can come, the events calendars, these are things you can come and discover on your own. But another thing I want to mention is the this bottom part right here. We are having 1,000 sats. That's the pair that you are trading, will also be mentioned here. The currency pair that is. Then we have the exchange that you are using. Remember, we chose Binance. It will be there. The price or the performance. Basically, this is like a small segment that is giving you the fundamentals about the pair you are trading. It will give you the performance in 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, yearly, and all that. Then it will come here, give you a seasonal. Then it will come and have something we call a fear and greed index. But we also have a fear and greed index on CoinMarketCap right here. But here's the key difference. The fear and greed index on CoinMarketCap is a summary of how the market is, the general market as a whole, the whole market, how people are feeling about the market. That's the purpose of the fear and greed index on this coin market cap. But when you come to TradingView, the fear and greed index that is shown here is specifically for the coin that you are trading at that point. So the 1,000 sats USDT here, it is the fear and greed index for the 1,000 sats USDT is what you're seeing right now. Sell. It's on the extreme. No, it's not strong sell, but it's on the sell. So the difference is on the coin market cap, the entire market, but on TradingView, the specific coin or trading pair that you're trading at that particular juncture. So before I even move to the most important part of this class, I'll just mention this last part. All these parts you can come and explore on your own, but I had promised to show you where you can access all your trading exchanges. So just come to this part, written trading panel, click on it, and here you can access all your favorite exchanges or the exchanges, not exchanges or the brokers if you're doing forex or stocks. So you can see you have Binance, OKX, BingX, and all that, all brokers. You can come here and choose all your brokers that you want to connect your TradingView to. So you can actually connect your TradingView to your Binance exchange. If you want to close that, you have a minus sign right here. Click that and it will disappear from that juncture. Any question before we move to the last part of this class, the most important part of this class? Any question? If everything is clear up to that point, thumbs up. Great. So I want us to move to this most important part of this class, and this is the tools part. I don't have any other term. I don't mean that it's called the tools part. It's just a term I've thought on myself. So we can decide to call this the tools part. So the tools part is a place where all the tools that you need when you're doing your analysis are. So let's tackle one at a time. So if I click on this plus sign, this is a tool, or rather we can call it in simple terms, a cursor changer. So if you want to change your preference on how your cursor pointer appears like, you can come and choose from this part. You can see mine is like a plus sign or a cross as they call it here on exchange. You can see, if you can see that thumbs up, when I move my cursor like this, is like a plus sign. If I want to change that to maybe a dot, I can do that. Click on a dot and you'll notice that every time I move my cursor, it's like a dot. If I want an arrow, come that and it will be an arrow, but I prefer a cross like that. Remember I said, let's ignore this part. I'll mention it right now. This part right now, right here, we can call it a favorite tool place. Let's call it, because you've said this is a tool segment, you can call this a favorite tool place. So this is where you get to collect all your most commonly used tools and list them right here so that you can have easy access to them. And this is what I mean. For example, in this segment, I love the cross, and that's what I use basically a lot. So if I want that to come to my favorite tool list, as you said, you're going to call this a favorite tool list, I'll come and check that. You can see it is checked. So it came to this part. Right? If I want that to disappear, just uncheck and you notice that the plus sign has disappeared. If I want that to come back, I'll just do that. I can come back. If I want to rearrange, I can basically slide it and bring it as my first option. If I want a trend line to come here, that's the same thing. Instead of me always, if I want to draw something on the chart, I'm always coming to my left and choosing, oh, where is my trend line? Oh, it's here. Come and pick it and now draw. You can come and favorite it. It can come to this favorite tool list so that it can be easy. If I want to draw something, I just come here and pick. If I want to draw a rectangle, come here and pick. It makes it easier to do. So that's the purpose of this one, favorite tool. We have said it's a favorite tool list. So let's go to this next part, a trend line. So on this list, I want you to go and favorite a trend line, a horizontal line, and a horizontal ray. These are essentially the most used tools on this segment right here. I've never seen someone who's using a pitchfork or sniff pitchfork, but remember, different traders have different trading strategies. So you'll find other people, there are people who trade using maybe this pitchfork according to their trading strategy, sniff, whatever, all these things. But so far, me, what I know when I'm trading using the smart money concept, the most commonly used tool on this segment is the trend line, the horizontal line, and the horizontal ray. So a trend line will help you to draw lines on the chart. No wonder this segment is called line. So a trend line will help you draw lines on the chart. For example, you can come here and say this is a downtrend like that. If I want to name that, double click on it. This is an example. Double click on it like that. If I want to change the style, there's no need to change it, but you can change the color from this part. Maybe I want that to be presented in red, and you'll notice that's changed to red. But if I want to change to name this part and say this is a downtrend, I can come here and say downtrend like that. Let me move this so that you can see the change. You can see it right here. It has been named a downtrend. It has come in between the two lines. If I want to change that, I don't want that in the middle, I can say, let me have that at the top. You can see it is at the top. If I want that on the bottom, I can say at the bottom. If I don't want this on the center, I want this to move on the right, it will move on the right. If I want that to move on the left, the same. If this size is not appealing, I can reduce it to that at that point. If I want it in bold or italics, I can do that. If I want to change the color and maybe have, let's choose yellow, you can choose all that right there. The coordinates, all that visibility, not very important, but basically, essentially, that's the work of a trend line. Then you have a horizontal line. The horizontal line and the horizontal ray are more or less the same, but here's the difference. The horizontal line, we draw a horizontal line from end to end. End to end, and this is what I mean by end to end. If I choose it right here, if I written it here, so it's the one right here. So I come choose it here and draw that. You'll notice that it goes from end to end. Since time immemorial, you'll go all the way to the end to end. That's what I mean by end to end. But for a horizontal ray, it will draw a line, a horizontal line, the same as this, but from the point that you've started it. So this is what I mean. If I come and choose it here, it's also here for easy access. So just come here or here. And if I want a horizontal ray that starts from this part right here, this specific point that I've chosen, I can come and click there and it will appear. If you can see it, remember, but also you can change the color maybe to red, something you can see. If I want to change the style to align, if I want to thicken it so that you can see it, you can thicken it like that. If I want to name it, like you say, double click and name it and maybe say highest high, a higher high, maybe call it a higher high like that. A higher high, if I want that in the middle, I can, in the top, the left, you can see it has moved to the left. If I want it on the right, can do that. The size maybe can have as 22. You can see that. So that is essentially the work of the horizontal tool. On this part right here, this is where we have the fib retracement, the Fibonacci, and the gun box. These are the most two used, the fib retracement and the trend-based fib extension. Do not worry about these two. We'll talk about them. So I need you to hold onto that thought. When we'll be doing chart analysis, we'll talk about fib retracement and the trend-based fib extension. So I don't want to dive into that in today's class. But the gun box, a gun box essentially is a tool that is used to measure the levels. For example, I want to trade maybe this, I'd already chosen the fib tool. Let me delete it, delete everything like that. So for example, I want to trade only 50% of this box and I don't know how I'm gonna measure 50% of this. Let me use a rectangle to highlight this. I want to trade this candlestick right here. And I don't know the exact 50% of that candle. What do? I use a gun box. from this point, a gun box. It will help you determine, measure that. So come to this point and extend it like this, and it will give me an exact 50%. If you can see that thumbs up, you can see 0, 0.5, and 1. So it will give me an exact 5, or rather 50%. So no wonder we are saying a gun box. It is used to measure the levels. Perfect. That's all about this part. I've said you talk about the fib retracement and the trend-based fib extension. So do not worry. All these other ones, you can Google on your own just to add knowledge, but in smart money concepts, we don't essentially use the above. Then on the next part, we have, I think this here, the next part. Also, this is another part that I've never used, but I was learning about Elliott wave, but also it didn't make sense to me. But also this is the part where you come and choose that, the Elliott wave and whatever. So here I have nothing to talk about in that segment. Then you can come to this part. In this part, the two most important tools, the long position tool and the short position tool. Someone to tell us, when you're saying long, what are we doing to the market? Are we buying or selling? When we say long, when we say we are long in the market, are we buying or are we selling? Are you buying or are we selling the market? Someone? When you say I'm longing the market, am I buying or am I selling? Let me see who's here. Christian, let's hear your voice today. When you're saying we're buying, when you say we are longing, are we buying or are we selling? Christian? Just unmute yourself and tell us. It's a guess. You already have the answers, buy or sell. So just choose one. When you say we're longing, what do we mean? Christian? Okay, let's have Friday. When you say we are long in the market, what do we mean? Friday. Levy? Anyone? Levy? Okay, let me choose the ones that have raised their hand. Joseph?
Longing, buying, shorting, selling.
Yes. Longing essentially means you are buying the market, and shorting means you are selling the market. So here is where we come and choose our position tools. So we have a long position tool to mean you are buying. So if I'm saying I'm buying from this point right here, I'll come and place my long position tool like that. And essentially, I can have my stop loss at that and my take profit at that. So essentially what this means is I'm having my entry at this juncture right here. So my entry will be that. So once the market comes to that part, it will trigger me into that trade. And if my trade goes down like this, I'm basically in losses. And if it taps out of this, I've been stopped out. My stop limit, my stop loss, let me just delete this. My stop loss is at this, let me just name it to make it easier. My entry is here. Entry is here. That's where I enter the market at this juncture right here. Then my stop loss is right here. And my take profit. Remember, a long position tool is for buying. My take profit is up here. My take profit is up there. Like that. So what this means is if the market comes to my entry, I'll be triggered into that trade. If it goes up to this red zone, I'm in losses. If it taps out, I've been stopped out of that trade. But if it does something like this, I'm in profits. If it taps there, it means that my take profit has been tapped and I've left the market with a profit. The same thing for a short position tool. If I'm predicting that the market will continue to go down, I can have a short position tool from this part, short position, meaning I'm selling the market. So I can have it at that point like that. So can have because I'm shorting, my stop loss will be at the top here, my take profit at the bottom here, my entry will be at this juncture right here. So what does that mean? It means that if the market, current market price is down here, this purple line. So if the market actually from this purple line comes in, it will trigger my trade. If it goes all the way here, I'll be stopped out of that trade. But if it does something like this, then it means I'm in profits. And if it taps out here, it means now my take profit has been tapped. If I extend that, you'll see from this point, my take profit has been tapped and I've left the market with a profit. So from this juncture right here, you can go and favorite these two, long position tool and the short position tool. You can see mine are here on my favorite tool list right here, long position and a short position tool. Next to that, we have the brushes segment. We have a brush. These are basically tools that are used to mark your points of interest. You can use a brush to come and mark your point of interest. Maybe you've noticed that these are a downtrend. You can use that instead of using a trend line like this. Maybe come choose your brush and say this is a downtrend like that. So this segment is basically for tools that you will use to highlight your points of interest. An arrow, a highlighter, same thing, can come and maybe say I have an interest in this zone right here. So you can come and use that. You can also come and use an arrow marker. I think we've used an arrow marker before to say that's an uptrend, or maybe to say it's a downtrend. So that's the purpose of an arrow marker. We have an arrow, same thing. No wonder I'm saying this point is basically for highlighting your points of interest. We have the most used, I use the arrow marker mostly, and I prefer a rectangle to map out my points of interest. So if, for example, this is a candlestick I'm interested in, maybe I'm saying is an order block, what I can do, remember I said if you want to delete these things, click on that thing and delete. But if you want to delete all of them in unison, come to the bottom left, click this dustbin thing and remove all of them like that at once. So a rectangle, I'll prefer using a rectangle. So I'll come pick, remember you favorited it, so it has come here. There's no need to go here and look for it. Just come here, and if this is a good point of interest, use it to map it like that. You can map it like that. Come, double click it, say these are bearish order block like that. If I want that on the left, actually on the right, if I want that on the right, you can come and choose your specification from that point. So I prefer using a rectangle than using all these arrow markers that exist. But you can also use a circle. I always see a circle. Where is the circle? You can come and use a circle and highlight it like that to make it your point of interest. I see people on Twitter using that also. If these are your point of interest, you can come and use that on the same. A path is a tool that you will use it when you'll be doing chart analysis. So it's basically to help you analyze or see some parts, and this is how you use it. Maybe to highlight a downtrend, you can come, where is it? I have favorited it. You can come just right here, say that's lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It can help you to identify that this is, because sometimes you're not able to see these things. If you see like that, you can come and use it to do things like that. But I'll show you how we use that essentially. So from this part, you can come choose your arrow marker, your rectangle, and any other tool that you feel you'll use. Just come and favorite it from this segment right here. The text tool is a tool that you use once when you're naming on the chart, favorite it. So the purpose of this, let me delete everything. The purpose of this, once you favorited it, if I want to name something like right here, I can come to this part, click on that, and maybe name it. Maybe high, like that. So that's the purpose of a tool box. Then you have the emojis part. I don't know why you'll use this, but maybe let's say you love this part. Just click there and use it right there. Why is it not working? Click. Yeah, perfect. And maybe use it there. I don't know why we'll use that, but yeah, if it suits your ego, you can come and choose that. We have a measuring tool. A measuring tool is a tool essentially that measures bars involved in a range that you'll choose. And on top of that, it also measures the volume, the performance, and all that. So let me just explain that in a few. For example, from this part up to this part, I want to know the number of candlesticks, the time it took for those candlesticks to be formed, the volume of those candlesticks. I'll come and use the measuring tool, this one that looks like a ruler. And how will I determine that? Come to that point of interest that I want and extend and basically extend my tool like that. And it will give me all the details I want. The percentage, how many bars, there are 41 bars in this range, 41 bars. How much time did it take for those 41 bars to be formed? It took them 1 day, 17 hours, and the volume is actually 150.93 billion. So that's the purpose of the measuring tool. Then you have what you call the zooming. This everyone can do. If I want to zoom this specific part, come to this part and highlight the part I want to zoom like that, and it will zoom that part. If I want to unzoom, I can click escape, or I can use this zoom out tool right here. It's actually not at the unzoom. There's nothing like unzoom, it's zoom out. So click on that and zoom, and it will go back to normal. We have the magnet, the locking tools, and all that. So a magnet, you can come play with it, click that and see how it works. Then you have a lock tool. A lock tool is basically to lock all your drawings. If, for example, I've drawn something like this and a rectangle, I've done my analysis. I have so many tools on my charts that I don't want to be erased because I'm still analyzing the charts. What I do, you can decide to lock a tool individually on its own. And how you lock individually on its own, just click on that tool. You can notice now, because it's not locked, it will keep on disturbing me. So let me just unlock that. So if I want to unlock a tool, what I do essentially is what? I'll come, highlight that what do you call this? Highlight, click that tool, then this dialog box will appear and I can lock it from that point. So once I've locked it, even if I try to move it, you'll notice these other ones, I can move them because they are not locked. I can move them the way I want. But this one that I've locked, it cannot move, this one. If I want to unlock it, just come here, unlock it, and now I can be able to move it. So that's the need for the individual lock. But if I want to lock the whole chart so that everything that is drawn here cannot be moved, it stays like that, I'll come to this part right here and lock it. Lock it like that. And if I want all these things to disappear, close my eyes like that, they disappear. If I open that, they appear. And the last tool right here was for what? Deleting all the tools in unison. Remember, if you want to delete individually, just click like that, click it, the dialog box appears, delete, like that, like that. But if I want to delete everything in unison, click here and remove everything in unison. Any question? Because you have come to the end of this class. Any question? Any questions so far? Today we are just discussing TradingView and the tools. We can call this class a tour of the TradingView. Any question? If you've understood everything on TradingView, thumbs up. Perfect. So based on that, I'll end this class at this part. We meet tomorrow for market structures. And under market structure, we look at breakout structure, market structure shift, parts of an uptrend, parts of a downtrend, and all those. So let's meet tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys, and have a good night. Bye.